It was another weekend of successful viewership for Melee and Ultimate tournaments at the Big House in Detroit, Michigan. And while those numbers were high, Melee averaged around 96,000 viewers at its peak, and Ultimate saw somewhere around 45 to 50,000 viewers for their broadcast, despite going well beyond 1 a.m. Eastern Time. The prize pools, of course, remain a sore spot, not only at this tournament, but in the community at large. The prize pool for Melee was just over $9,000, with the winner, Mango, winning $3,600. Second place to Zane, $1,800. How about Ultimate? Zachary flew all the way from Japan. The prize pool was 10 grand. He made about 4,000. Shuton, for 7th place, also coming from Japan, 300. This is not new information. This is not a new conversation even, because this is always something that comes up when you are talking about the success of Smash viewership versus the prize pools that are available. Jacob, the solution always seems to turn to, well, Nintendo just needs to get involved. But are we at the point where maybe we should just move on from that and find another solution?
I think so. I mean, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate release last December seemed like the perfect launching point. You know, the interesting thing here, I have always found that Super Smash Bros., and again, I play this game a lot, so small bias here. I've always found that Super Smash Bros. Is way more accessible than Street Fighter or than Tekken, both which have their own forms of world circuits. And I think that Nintendo is, and this goes without saying because it's been said a billion times, Nintendo is missing a very good opportunity to engage a fan base that sort of has a lot of distrust for it, right, aside from its game development. And I think that it is time to look at other solutions, right? There is a tournament organizer Facebook chat, or Facebook group that exists between a lot of Smash organizers. Maybe that's a place to start. And I think that generally you can't put your hope out for Nintendo because the perfect opportunity existed 10 months ago and it went completely underutilized, right? They have done next to nothing. They've done very little in terms of the promotion. They have a Twitter account. That's about as far as we go with Nintendo Versus. They have a Twitter account that promotes these events.
And they did tweet the Ultimate results at Big House, for example.
So they promote it, but they are not contributing to the prize pool. And it's insane to think that someone like Zero, who was one of the best players in Smash of all time, certainly the best in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, 4 years or so, a huge tournament streak. I think it was something like 56 tournaments, and he said he made about 45 grand. It's a pretty average white collar job, man. Like, it's really sad. It's really sad. He was the best comment on that response in his thread was that he was Employee of the Month every single month and never got a raise.
By the way, Zero has a really long thread about this on his Twitter account that I highly recommend that you read, all about pay and how even the teams are involved and how much recuperation you get from that, etc. Definitely check it out. But this does happen in Nintendo Europe versus Nintendo North America. There is at least a different level of sponsorship and involvement in Europe than there is in North America. Why is that?
We haven't seen what prize pools will be for that, and they have confirmed they're going to put together a final culmination tournament to happen at a DreamHack event in 2020. Obviously, more details pending on that. But I think that Nintendo of America. I interviewed Bill Trennan a few months ago, and said this last week in our content with Hungrybox, but his point was that he thinks that by catering as they do on the online circuits that they run, catering to the more casual player, it will make them become a competitive player. I completely just disagree with that generally. I think that making idols in the scene is super important, right? So if I'm a young Ultimate player and I live in Mexico and I don't know anything about the pros, but then I see maybe a TV station because Nintendo's helped out, right, and stepped in as some of these other companies do. I see MKLeo on TV. Mm-hmm. I hear about the story that I talked to him about this summer about he couldn't even afford actual food. He was eating apples and bread, and now he is the best Super Smash Bros. Ultimate player in the world. That's inspiring. If I'm a young Mexican player, that's inspiring to me. I could be the next MKLeo. And Smash fighting games in general have a diversity that no other section of esports does. It provides the opportunity that there's so many people these young people could relate to and aspire to be. That's the opportunity Nintendo's missing. That's the opportunity that, say, you know, Super and Sinatra were on Jimmy Fallon last night.
Right.
What if MKLayer or Hungrybox or one of those people, if Nintendo helped them, as the Overwatch League did for those guys, what if Nintendo helped them get on big TV shows? If they won the tournament like the Fortnite World Cup and won a bunch of prize money, and then we're on the big TV show.
And you wonder.
And they have great stories.
Right.
The top players are Zero is from Chile, and he's talked about this at length about his come up. MKLeo is from Mexico. They're from everywhere. Hungrybox is from Argentina. There's so many good stories in this community that completely go unfounded, and I think that Nintendo, maybe they don't have the responsibility. Maybe that's the wrong word, but they are certainly missing an opportunity to promote their game and to erect idols that will inspire younger players to become those people one day.
Full disclosure, I mean, I am completely in favor of a scenario where Nintendo works in harmony with the communities to build as high as possible. The sky is the limit. I mean, I am relatively new to covering the Smash scene, admittedly, but for the tournaments that I've seen, the passion is absolutely there. I don't think it's going to wane. I think that Melee, it's electric. You're absolutely right about that, and I do think that there's such a potential there. So here's my question to that. Just knowing just the conversations that I've had at these tournaments. The tournaments are, in a way, fragmented in the sense that there are different tournament organizers. Sure. You mentioned there's a Facebook chat. Why hasn't it worked in the past, and why aren't we seeing more attempts to unify this all and create one singular Smash organization that rules it all in an effort to, like a rising tide floating all boats? Why isn't that working in this environment?
I think there's two reasons. One, self-interest, right? If you are Bailey and you organize CEO, and you're Mr. Wizard and you organize Evo, and you are Robin who organizes the Big House, and you're trying to market to the kid out there whose parents will let him go to one tournament a year, right? That's the person you want to pay and come to your tournament, right, and make you money. Why are you going to help out your friend, right? Like, these people are friendly with one another. They deal with each other frequently. There's a reason there's a Facebook group that's pretty civil. But the interesting thing about that is that there is a little bit of self-interest here. You don't want to hurt your business by helping someone else's, right? And that's why, like, a third-party arbiter would make a lot of sense. That's why Nintendo makes a lot of sense, because they're the IP license holder. And that sort of leads me to my second point. You don't want to end up in a position that just happened in Counter-Strike, where you are essentially threatened to be delicensed, right? Like, there have been license issues for years in Smash. Notably Evo 2013, where they won the fundraiser Melee won the fundraiser to be a part of the Evo 2013 lineup. They beat out a bunch of other games, and then Nintendo said, sorry, we're going to de-license you. We're not going to give you the license to run Melee at Evo 2013. They flipped that around because I don't think they've ever seen that much backlash in their entire span of their existence as a company, as Nintendo saw in that, like, week and a half or whatever it was. But I think
Wasn't it the morning of? I thought it was the morning of that happened, and then it just...
No, it did, but it took them a little bit to revise and go, hey, we made a mistake, and give the license back. But, you know, that's fascinating that power, this is a big topic, we could go way beyond Smash, the sort of power that an IP holder owns that doesn't exist in traditional sports, right? Sure. Nobody owns the game of basketball. Nobody owns the game of football or baseball.
But Nintendo owns
But they own Super Smash Brothers.
Yes.
And they could wreak havoc if they really wanted to. And obviously, I think they're wary about doing so. But they've found this middle line that financially makes sense, right? What do they care about? They care about selling Nintendo Switches and Super Smash Brothers Ultimate copies, right? Game consoles and game titles. So has it may not make them a ton of money to be a part of Smash, but it will inspire a fan base, I think, that is out there and has potential to grow. Those young people who are looking for others to sort of idolize and look up to.
Nintendo does put on tournaments, much different rule sets than what we see in the top competitive Smash tournaments. Do you ever see a day, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, where there is a harmony?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
You think it's just the ship has sailed? It can never say never, but it's maybe a little bit too far gone?
I mean, I don't know if these rumors are true. I'm not a games reporter, but there were rumors that there aren't too many Smash titles left to come. That they're not going to make a ton of more, and obviously that could
Sakurai
change.
did say that we'll never see a game with as many characters as Smash Ultimate ever
Right,
again.
but even before that, there were rumors that they're only going to make a few more Smash titles, and that's it. And sure, that could change, but like this felt like the perfect launch pad. Ultimate felt like the perfect launch pad. Has all the characters, all the stages. And that's the one thing that makes Smash so accessible, right? Nintendo has built their characters and their universes up in a way that others haven't. Mario is huge, but so is Pokemon. So is Kirby. So is Zelda. All of these franchises are massive in a way that other developers don't have that, right? There's a Street Fighter universe, but each one of these characters in Smash have their own universe, and they come together. That's part of what makes this game really popular, is people like seeing their favorite characters battle it out. And so when you look at that, this felt like the launch pad to take. If you're Nintendo, take it, springboard, and use it to sort of spread out on everything. And it feels like they've missed the opportunity at this point. And the community reception would be incredible. Like if they announced tomorrow that they had some sort of Smash circuit like Capcom Pro Tour, and they were going to pump even $1 million in a year, which is nothing to the Nintendo bottom line. The community reception, even if it was just for Ultimate and not Melee, the community reception would still be massive.
Okay. Pie in the sky prediction time for me. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm right in the comments below of this video. We have Nintendo Switch eShop. We have NES Online. We have Super Nintendo Online. Next, we're going to get N64 Online. After that, we're going to get GameCube Online. Might be 2 years, might be 3 years. But that's the trajectory we're going to. As soon as GameCube Online drops, we will get a port of the American version of Smash Melee. And that moment right there will spawn the genesis, pardon the pun, of a relationship between Nintendo and the Smash communities. That's where it will begin, and that's where it will thrive.
And in that case, honestly, you want to make a lot of money, Nintendo? Here's what you do. You make a Jigglypuff skin that is Hungrybox themed. You make a Fox skin that is or Falco skin that is Mango themed.
100%.
You play into this. I don't know how you want to gate it to like say only these players are getting this, but there's a huge financial incentive just waiting for that. That's something we see Overwatch does. Overwatch has team skins. League of Legends has team passes. They're like, there's conversations between the teams in the League of Legends leagues and Riot Games about doing more than what they're doing now. That is a huge financial opportunity for Nintendo, and it's missed.
Please subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so you'll get notifications whenever we drop videos like these, and continued coverage available at espn.com/esports.